This is the story of the Fundementals. In the beginning, there was nothing. Not light, not life, not energy, not matter. An endless, yet ceaseless infinity of nothing. The earliest beings named this lack of anything Al-Shua, and it existed forever, endless, before time existed and yet never. It was the absence of anything, not darkness, but nothing. But somehow, something utterly impossible happened. Something. A little glimmer of something, of light, a smaller creation in the endless darkness of soupy nothing. And with the first creation came the possibility for more. Came the force itself, the force of creation, and power, and light. Suddenly, there was something. And this something, this creation, this force, was called Eris. One creation became another, the force growing in strength, channeling itself, and another, and another. Soon the light became a rock hurtling through a space of nothing. The rock, as it traveled, created space with it. Instead of a pinpoint piece of non-existence, suddenly there was a vast sea of darkness. The rock resisted the endless nothing and destruction simply by existing in and throughout it. Then the rock broke off and became more. And suddenly there was a lot of something, a lot of rocks and light, all swimming in an endless nothing, and they filled the nothing with space and with something and with light. And in this space, on these mini rocks, and now multiple realms and planes and dimensions, another strange phenomenon to fight the nothing emerged. The force of Ki-Rael began to blow, and life was born. There were dragons and humanoids and strange, incomprehensible, incorporeal beings, not always physically present, that became known as gods. And there was a new order, a new pattern to things, a pattern that didn't involve non-existence. And the force of Ki-Rael channeled the force of Eris, channeled creation to bring to life time. But with order and with time came two new forces, two dissenting forces. First was the destruction and the manipulation of order. Chaos, law, promise, covenants, anarchy, unpredictability. This force was named Atrax. Then, as the new time passed, things began to change. Change which came through the force of Atrax. Some of the new life was driven to madness. Some slipped into a search for knowledge or a devotion to piety. Some realized the cosmic horror and indifference of something existing in an endless, non-existent sea of nothing. And some more eventually died. They all were channelers of a new force. A force of death and madness and horror. A force pulled from the recesses of life and time to help cradle this new life and help them transition throughout the phases of existence. The force of Eucharist. In early time, with the exponential boom in life, Ki-Rael, the force of life, grew, stronger in power and ever channeling Eris alongside. The force became so powerful that the full energy of life across all of existence pushed sentience into being. This caused the aforementioned piety and horror, the channeling of Eucharist in mortals. But it did something strange as well. It gave life and personality to the lesser fundamentals. Kiaidaea, Atrax, Eucreus, all gained pseudo-physical forms and thoughts and visages and personalities, despite just being the natural forces tied to existence. Eris and Abshua remained as they were, opposing forces of something and nothing. For years, Eris, creation, Kiaidael, life, and the other lesser forces have managed to keep nothing at bay. Life fights non-existence. Creation fights destruction. Even death remained only a pilgrimage from one way of existence to another. So, the nothing of under-reality remained hidden and undisturbed, safely kept at bay. But when Von Tell caused his explosion, he didn't die. A being as powerful as himself could simply come back from the dead. He ceased to exist completely, thus tipping the balanced scales of creation and destruction and allowing the void, the dark, the abyss, the waste, the great Blackfoot to slip in. And now, nothing is inescapable. It is winning against creation. It is winning against life. It is winning against death. Time is dying and ceasing and fading back into nothing. The order of reality is crumbling. Even chaos is fading from a milky soup of insane madness into nothing. And the sea of non-existence that predated the universe is here to return. This is the end. This is what the early beings called the return of Abshua. And there is little to do in order to stop it.
If there's any thought that I think of me for a little support, at a time of need it'll be enough. Not a chance. Johnny hates town, can't see or hear. Kill communication, stepping off the grid just to let me know. Too many got my time. Been here before, lovers winter freeze, summer's burn, shut down on the sneeze. Take what you learn, what's me. Of me, could you feel no different? After half a week, it'll be enough. Not a chance.